Hello, my name is Monica, and today I want to share with you this amazing machine called Biotrohn. Biotrohn is a microcurrent machine, and how does it work? I am going to go ahead and read from the manual that comes with the Biotrohn so I can give you exact correct information of how Andreas Kalcker, who is the inventor for this machine, puts it basically, so I can give you really the scoop of what this is all about. There is a lot I am not going to share with you. There is a lot of information in the internet, and my purpose today is to give you a few testimonials that come from me on how I use it and what I do with it and what it has done for me, and also give you a little bit of an idea to what this Biotrohn is all about. So, how does it work? As we already know, in addition to matter, we're also electricity. Each entity has its own frequency, and it varies depending on whether it is a healthy cell, a pathogen, or a diseased cell. Broadly speaking, Biotrohn works by releasing electrons from electrodes, which travel through the body and inactivate pathogens and toxics in their path. Speaking of electricity in general terms, parasites in diseased tissues are positively charged, equals shortage of electrons. The Biotrohn introduces negatively charged electrons through the skin into the living tissues of the body, causing the parasites to die by reversing polarity. They also help heal diseased tissue, as healthy tissue is negatively charged. Therefore, Biotrohn is also effective in the treatment of pain. Pain involves an accumulation of hydrogen positive ions in the area, which leads to inflammation. Bioelectricity provides negative ions, electrons, to counteract the positive hydrogen ions. Whenever there is pain, inflammation, or disease in the area, the electrical charge levels are low. Biotrohn also restores healthy levels of electrical charge to the cell, about 100 millivolts. Note that an aging cell has 50 millivolts of charge, and a cancer cell has 15 millivolts. On the other hand, the electrons provided by Biotrohn electric current help to increase the polarity of the lymph, making it flow better throughout the body. This is important because lymph circulates much more slowly than blood, as it does not have an organ to propel it, as in the case of the heart. Cells depend on the lymphatic system to receive oxygen and water, as well as to eliminate the waste substances they produce. Microcurrents also recharge energy levels at the intracellular level by increasing ATP production in the mitochondria by 500% and protein uptake of the cell by 40 to 50%. As a result, many patients with chronic fatigue syndrome have significantly increased their energy levels. I'm going to go back to say now, principles of microcurrent is the low intensity electrical current that resembles the body owns natural current. The electric current used in therapy with variable frequency microcurrents is considerably lower than in any previous types of electrotherapy, using resonance as the main factor, which is the key to its effectiveness. Now, let me share a treatment with microcurrent-based frequency. Most microcurrent applications and their results, whether medical or aesthetic, are based on the same mechanism of action, which includes increased circulatory benefits, lymphatic and blood, muscle reeducation. Lontophoresis. It is based on introducing ions through the skin to the tissues by means of 2 electrodes. Microcurrents increase penetration through the resonance generated. Increased natural production of collagen and elastin. Dispersion of hardened collagen. Stimulation of enzymatic degradation involved in inflammatory biochemical mechanisms. Enhancement of the cumulative effects of repair and regeneration. Electroanalgesia is achieved with 5 to 8 minutes of application. Increased protein synthesis, gluconeogenesis, and transport across cell membranes. Increased mitochondrial activity, ATP generation. It favors the elimination of waste substances from the organism. Okay, that's enough of blah, 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 and all that it does. What I want to do now is the fun part. The fun part is, as you can tell, well, you know, my book from Andreas Kalcker, who is my teacher, my mentor, obviously looks like a Bible, and I have been studying a lot on all of what he has done research on. So he loves microcurrent, and as you can tell, my machine has, you know, electrical tape here and electrical tape at the end of the wires, because I want to make sure that it stays good. I was unfortunate, I pulled it run a couple of times and the connection fell off, so I had it fixed. And then I'm like, I'm gonna tape it, because I use this thing in my car, I use these things for my clients, I use this thing on me, on my grandkids, on anybody. And so it's going everywhere all the time. All right, so you can either connect the electrodes with the wire and sit down and hold them. And sometimes the machine will beep, 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 because it is not enough connection. So then what you do is, I have saline water in here, but you know, I wet this little piece of paper towel and I put it around the electrode, and then I go ahead and hold them. And the fact that the towel is wet with the saline water, it makes much better contact. I use this method a lot for my clients. For me, I'm always on the go. So I love the little pads that I can put on my skin, and then I can hook it up right here, and I can turn it on, and I can be working in the computer. I could even be sleeping, or I could be sitting on the sofa if I wanted to, or, and let me grab something really quick. I didn't bring it, but I wanted to show you because I know, they're kind of outdated, but a fanny pack. And what I do is I put my machine in here and I put it on my waist, and I walk around, I do the dishes, whatever I get to do, and the machine is here and I become very mobile with it. So it's awesome. I love this machine. So there is a liquid that they also sell, the electromagnetic little pads. You know, your skin needs to be clean when you put it on, because if it has oils or something, it's not going to stick very well. And these are reusable, so you want to make sure that your skin is clean so there is enough contact. So sometimes I clean my skin first, and then I put the pad, and then I choose the program, and voila, that's it. Personal experiences. I had a colonoscopy last week, and you know how they put a lot of air in your bowels. My father had colon cancer, so I am one that every so often I do a colonoscopy to check on my bowels. My girlfriend brought me home and I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't pass the gas. It was just trapped in my bowels. And so I was sitting there because the doctors told her, make sure she rests. She needs to rest. She can't do anything. So she's sitting here with me, wanting to make sure that I rest. But I'm sitting down and my belly is hurting. So I get up and I'm like, you know, rubbing my belly. And she's like, you have to sit down. And I go, you know, I'm so uncomfortable. And so I started walking a little bit around the table. And as I turn, I see my Biotrohn. And I'm like, oh my God, my Biotrohn. I get to hook myself up. So I put these, you know, the electrodes on my belly. And I turned it on the program for inflammation. Oh, 3 minutes into the program, I cannot tell you, pain gone. Oh, it felt so good. So I did a couple of different programs before I went to bed. A couple days after, I woke up with a headache. Well, I don't know, maybe it was the next day. I forget. Maybe I got too much propofol for my colonoscopy, and now I can't remember. And so I had to do some work in my computer, and it was either to take Advil or to hook the machine in the headache program. I decided to put the electrodes back here on the upper part of my back. I put the headache protocol, did my work. By the time I was done with my work, my headache was gone. I have used it for back pain, for neck pain, for inflammation, for acidosis, for, you know, to stimulate my kidney, my liver, my, you know, knee pain, inflammation in general. The universal cycle is great. There are so many different things that if it applies to you, you could use. What happens is it's a resonance. So what Andreas Kalcker did is he studied the microcurrent and the resonance of every organ and every situation. So for example, if the kidneys need a vibration of, and I'm going to give you a very simple explanation that probably means nothing, but hopefully it will demonstrate to you how it works. So let's say that the kidneys need to be at a 10 in order to be functioning right. Well, somehow they lost their mojo and they're now working at a 5. Well, this machine is programmed to provide that vibration, that frequency, that energy of the 10. So it comes into your body and it uniquely identifies with the currency of your body, and it pairs with that lower vibration, and it begins to allow it to send the correct vibration so the kidneys can get stimulated again. Whether it's the kidney or the headache or the liver or the pancreas or the knee or the back, whatever it is incredible. I want to speak enough of it, as it is something that I travel with it. I put it in my carry-on. Most of the times they stop me and they open my luggage and they want to see it, and I don't care, because I want to have this thing every single day. I swear by it. All right, I am going to put in the comments the website for MetaLab, who represents this machine. They are in Spain, and not a problem. They can ship to US, they can ship all over the world. So it's just a great asset to any family, any home. My daughter uses it, my kids use it. My daughter is a nurse, and I was called by a neighbor just 2 weeks ago, and one of our kids was bleeding on the nose, and the first picture, the kid had all these black marks under the eyes. He felt so sick, and this is like 8 o'clock at night. So she leaves the Biotrohn with her. She hooks the kid up, takes care of the bleeding nose and the few symptoms that the kid was having. And she told her, put it on him a couple of times through the night. So the mother does. The next morning she calls my daughter and she says, you're not going to believe it. I cannot believe it. He is 100% today. He woke up and he's fine. Right here. Right here. This is the answer to so many things. I have used it on my grandkids, and I tell you, they are 5 and 7, and they say, Omi, they call me Omi. Omi has a machine that it's a miracle. It gets me better every time she puts it on me. So I love it. I love it when there is that clean, innocent little voice going like, I love that machine. It makes me feel better. It certainly does make me feel better. And I am very thankful and grateful for this. So, any questions, reach out. I will answer messages below. Have a fantastic rest of whatever time zone you're in, and stay healthy, be healthy, and know that health is up to you.